This is the garden party, and we want a garden party with you. We'll talk about the plants we grow and some things you might not know. The garden party. Yeah, it is Wednesday. I am Texas Garden Guy, and this is the Garden Party Podcast. Once again, coming to you live from my extra bedroom. I wish y'all could see all the junk I got piled up in here. This weekend is going to be the weekend that I actually clean this office out. I keep saying that. It's never actually going to happen. But that is not a real brick wall behind me. But this is the Garden Party, and we will come to you again this week. And we got my brother from another mother, Mr. Phil's Figs. What's going on, Phil? How you doing, dude?
I sent him some reels on cows. Not kidding. So that could have been the utter joke that he was just getting shoved in there. But what up, everybody? It's your favorite plant parent, regular parent. Hopefully, just on here to talk about figs and some of the other things we talk about too. So always stoked to be here.
That's awesome, dude. I'm happy to hear from you. We've been doing like the dad thing where you share a lot of every time we see a funny video, we just share it with each other. Like we have a garden party chat. It's just like we're getting old. That's what it is. It's like in that video of the cow is freaking hilarious.
Oh my gosh, Des, did I not send it to you? I feel bad I didn't send it to you.
No,
it's like
you didn't send it to me.
It's a cookie. People try to make protein cakes, but they bring like a cow to the kitchen to help them, and it doesn't help them whatsoever.
Wait.
Not at all.
Say what?
Yes.
You said I did get one cow video this week. It was really funny. There was a cow in the kitchen. It was eating pancake batter.
I did send it to you.
That was it.
Well, that was the one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No, I didn't see that one. It was really funny.
We're bulking today. And then the cow's like,
I love this guy.
Oh,
so funny.
As you just heard. Yes. Welcome back, Gardening with Des. What's going on, Des? You look lovely today.
Thank you. Just got done being a hairdresser for the day. So I put makeup on. I've been just like posting a lot of stuff, just like however I like the garden troll I am, whatever I look like that day, because it's honest. So whenever I get dressed up, it's like a special occasion these days.
Oh my God, no, you have been putting out a lot of content lately. You've been putting out a lot of content. Like you can tell you like woke up in spring, like you're like, let's get it done. So I've been really loving all your content. You always have so much fun in the garden. I can't wait to see Kelsey coming over there and you put her to work soon, hopefully.
I know. I need to have her over soon. I've just been so busy, and I'm kind of I'm in the middle, kind of like in the middle of something, you know. Like I'm in a holding spot. So I'm gonna have her over soon, though, for sure.
No, for sure. Yeah, when I was over there with Des, Kelsey was like, for real, call me and just put me to work. Like, it's my workout. Like, she was like, yeah, I'll get that whoop strap up. She had the whoop strap and she's like, yeah, I'm like in 90 percentile. And me and Des are like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, we were like eating pizza. Meanwhile, we're like shoving pizza in our face. We're like, what does that mean? What is this fitness thing? The only exercise I get is pizza to plate to mouth, pizza to mouth.
Is that what it was? The whoop?
Yeah.
She's a robot. She tracks her stuff. Like it's wild. It's crazy. Oh my goodness.
I love it.
Well, we have a returning guest coming back to us is Sam Growing Grace Garden. How's it going, Sam?
It's good. I'm excited to be here. I love chatting gardens. So
yeah, I think
spring is here, so it's like I'm alive. I'm no longer dormant. I'm alive, so I'm excited.
You made it. And we're both a fellow North Carolinian.
Yeah.
Yes. So
is it getting warm really quick where you're at?
Oh yeah. So spring gardening is really hard here because we could do like a late, like 3-week late hard frost. It could be, but then usually our spring can go from like winter to summer within like 3 days. So it's always like a gamble. Like sometimes your stuff does well, sometimes it bolts. You just have to like go with the flow.
100%. It's a tough spring. You have a little tougher than I do because you're you're further in. I'm on the coast in Wilmington, so I'm like one half a zone warmer or a zone depending on how it all shifted. And I'm like April 1st, but I know the second you start going up 40 towards Raleigh, you hit like April 15th, not soon after. And then you keep going, it can even again. But like you nailed it on the head. Like we're totally like a long fall type climate, but we're like a yo spring. You don't know what you're gonna get. Like because I'll say last freeze or frost is April 1st, and I'll have a freeze March 31st. You're like, what just happened?
Dang.
And then it'll be 80 next
or like
week. Well, that was frustrating. So it's tough.
And sometimes it can be like 80, and then we can get like a frost 2 nights later. So you never know what season you're gonna wake up to. You never know what you're gonna get. So it's always a gamble in the spring. But luckily with fall, like we can garden pretty much year round, depending on what you're growing, and even just with a tiny bit of cover, like, you know, we're set. So especially like root crops and stuff, you can keep those all winter long. You can keep them in the ground.
All winter. You casually go out there, grab a carrot, and you're good. Go back in.
Yeah.
Nice. Speaking of root crop, I had an incident this week. I don't know if it was just the drastic temperature change or what, but like I had a couple smart pots that all the potatoes just looked like doo-doo. Like they just all were falling over, turning like black and dying. And so I ended up having to do a little improvised potato harvest in the middle of the week. It was pretty wild. I think it had a lot to do with, and this is my first year really doing potatoes, is I planted them way too thick. I planted too many potatoes in those smart pots. And then I put like a 6-pack of them together. And so I wasn't able to get into them and hill them right. Because, I mean, Des, I'm not like an expert, but I think we're probably like a month or two out from where we should be harvesting potatoes, right?
I think so. But also, I think it depends on whether you have a determinate or an indeterminate potato. Some don't need hilling. Some, like a determinate potato doesn't need to be hilled, but an indeterminate potato does. So, but yes, the temperature fluctuations have been insane because we had like 45 degrees and it was very nice. And then suddenly it was like nearly 100 degrees last week. That was not cute.
Yes.
Oh, the potatoes were probably passing out. They were like,
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
I had a really sad, silly little potato harvest one time. It was the most pitiful thing that I love to embarrass myself on the internet, so I posted all about it. It was bad.
Yeah. No, I
think you did good.
I try to be as open. I try to be as open. That was 4 smart pots. That was 4 20-gallon smart pots. So it should have been like 3 times that amount of potatoes. But it was, spacing matters when it comes to root vegetables, especially because it's not like tomatoes where you can go and thin stuff out. Root vegetables, you really, and I'm not much. I'm more of a fruit man than a root man, So like I'm still learning about the root stuff. So I'm definitely gonna space my stuff. Plant potatoes in rows now. It makes a lot of sense, like so they can hill them really well. But I didn't know that either about determinate versus indeterminate potatoes.
I didn't know that. That's fascinating because like last year was my first year doing potatoes because I'm definitely more of a fruit man than a root man, and I love that phrase.
That's a Dwight Schrute. That's a Dwight Schrute quote.
It's one of Josh's gardening.
Yes.
Gosh, I love that.
Bears, beets,
but potatoes, man, like if all you have to do is read the book The Martian. And he grows potatoes on Mars because it's that easy. You can just throw the potatoes in the ground and a plant comes up. It's amazing. Yeah. And it's happening right now. It's pretty rad. But I didn't know about why you had to hill them. Can you explain that more, Des?
Honestly, I can't. I would love to explain that. But really, I think it's the same concept of like, tomato plants, like the big, giant, indeterminate tomato plants get huge. And so the more you hill them, the more potatoes you get. So that's why.
So you're basically just like giving them more soil.
Yes.
They also grow along the stem. So like the more you hill them, the more they'll continue to grow along the stem.
Exactly.
Whereas determinants, they're not going to do that.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like if a tomato, if you lay it on its side, it'll grow roots like on the side of the tomato from the actual trunk of the plant. So like that's the thought process. And so like with indeterminate, I guess you don't have to do that. And I didn't know there was a difference.
I had to
next
look
year,
mine up.
Next year I'll plan for that.
I have a red
Indeterminate potatoes
potato.
are great. Sorry.
No, you go.
Indeterminate potatoes are great for containers.
Yeah.
I mean, determinate.
Yeah.
Determinate potatoes are great for containers. Indeterminate, you want to plant them in the ground in rows.
Yeah. No, I think so. The only variety I have left is Yukon Gold. Have you done any potatoes yet, Sam?
No, I dropped the ball on the potatoes this year. Well, I have grown them, but this year I dropped the ball. But we have a really long growing season, so like I can still get them
You
out
can do
there.
like cycles.
Yeah, we can like succession plant. I mean, we can succession plant so much here. So.
Well, I actually, when I dumped some of the pots, there were still some of the potato slips, and I was like, I could just go replant this, but I was like, I'd rather have the room for more tomatoes. I'd rather. I'm very limited on space, so I mean, it was kind of needed to happen. Plus, I still have two. The ones that are still looking good are the Yukon Golds, and I think those are an indeterminate.
That I just Googled because I have Yukon Golds. They are determinate.
Yes.
Yukon Golds are okay.
Yes.
What about
Googling?
Yeah, so I have Kennebec, Nordland Red, and Yukon Gold, all from Haas. Greg put it on the label, dude, or maybe it's on the label. I don't know if they are or not. We'll find out. They might all be determinate varieties.
I've seen people. I've seen people do indeterminate potatoes in laundry baskets or in like a vertical, like take fencing and just kind of keep stacking on, which I think is super awesome. It makes it really easy to harvest.
They like wrapped it in chicken wire and they just
Oh yeah,
and you can you just unfold it and then all the potatoes fall out.
Yeah, and also indeterminate potatoes. I was just reading. You can keep growing them all the way through until your first like frost, whereas the determinate potatoes, they'll set their specific amount of fruit, and so you'll harvest them earlier in the season. So that's why it's important to know which variety you have as well. I love potatoes.
It's pretty wild. Big O is saying he planted some sweet potato slips. Sweet potato slips are really cool. One thing to know is sweet potatoes and potatoes are completely different species. You can eat the entire thing of a sweet potato, the leaves, the tube, I make sure I always do my sweet potatoes in containers because they will take over. They will grow through the bottom of your raised bed. They'll grow through. They'll go through a pot and come out. I've had them grow out the bottom of the pot and into the ground, and now I have them come out of my greenhouse every spring. But potatoes themselves are nightshades, so you cannot eat anything but the actual spuds of the potato. So just know that there is some difference there. Do y'all do sweet potatoes? I'm going to do some this year.
Yeah.
I've never done one.
I got a good harvest last year, but they were like bigger than my head. I mean, they were insane. But yeah, they took over.
I'm actually going to plant the same exact sweet potato that I planted last year. This sounds really weird. That video where I harvested like a football size sweet potato.
Yeah.
That was like 2 years ago, and then I planted it again in a smart pot, like in the middle of summer, and it grew leaves and everything. And I went to go dump it out, and it was just the same exact sweet potato. It didn't grow anything
Your
else.
mother potato. Your mother
It didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. It was so weird. And so I have that sweet potato is almost 3 years old.
What?
It's
You gotta name it.
Oh, it's a Edna.
Really?
Aunt Edna.
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 Oh, I can't wait to see Edna grow.
It's in the
Edna's
garage.
just pretty. She's just pretty.
It's in the garage, and it's on top of a cabinet and it's shooting up roots and they're starting to climb towards my attic door. So I'm like, I need to go
Oh
plant it too.
gosh.
It's determined.
Could you imagine?
Poor baby,
It'll
put that thing in the
this
ground.
is what I was talking about, Destin. Like, you got to go vertical now. Like, you can just
Oh my
put the
God.
potato on your roof in a
Yeah.
fabric pot and just let it drape down your whole roof.
It's so wild.
And you can eat it, so you can just
Yeah.
go there.
I
Go
feel like
every
one thing-
morning.
The one thing I found with sweet potatoes are ant magnets.
Mm.
If you put a sweet potato in a raised bed or a container,
Oh, they love it.
they go straight for that. Like every time I've ever dumped a sweet potato container, it is full of ants. They don't mess with the potato at all, but they are full of ants. It's always
Sometimes
the
they do.
silkiest. For me, they've never even damaged the potato, the sweet potato.
We
the
had
yam.
we had some out at the extension office, and they were like huge. They were like everywhere. And we were out. I was out there with the one of the master gardeners who does the vegetable garden, and we were digging up these sweet potatoes that were like this big. And one of them that I got, I was like, "Oh, look at this thing!" You know, I was very excited about it. Nobody freeze that frame. Anyway, it had ants in it. I think they really like the sweetness and the carbohydrates of the sweet potatoes. But anyway, they are absolutely entertaining to dig up. If you have the space, if I had the space, I would just grow them for the entertainment, the surprise.
Yeah.
It's like an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
And they're so pretty. Like they're in the morning glory family. So they're like, they have the flowers are beautiful. The leaves are beautiful. Mine are like purple. They're so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
They
how
are.
ants are in Texas, but here in North Carolina, that is one of our biggest struggles. Like we have carpenter ants in the garden and fire ants in the garden and black ants in the garden. And like they're everywhere, and they're not in like mounds. Like I was pulling weeds and they're just like in the ground, just everywhere. And that's we don't ground in our gardens in North Carolina because you're gonna be stepping on fire ants. Are they that bad in Texas?
And they are terrible in Texas. Fire ants, we're known for them, essentially. They're the worst, but also they're excellent soil movers and they aerate the soil so effectively.
Yes, they do.
And one thing about hugel culture here in like
Hugel culture.
Hugel culture.
Hugel
culture. Anyway.
I want a shirt that says Hugel culture.
If you start with like wood chips at the bottom, the fire ants and the carpenter ants will get up in there. And then you'll just be digging in your raised bed, and then there'll be like a mound of them. And they're just down there like taking care of all that like wooden stuff for you. They're breaking it down, but they're also they love to chew on you. You know, it's not my favorite.
If I plant potatoes I bought in the store with eyes, are those, you'd have to look up the variety, Ron. You'd have to look up the variety that you bought. And I don't know. I mean, they might be. I don't know. They spray stuff on top of like stuff you can store.
Yeah, sometimes it depends.
I'm sure they
Have you
do.
seen those videos of like organic versus conventional methods, and then how it comes out? Yeah,
it's also
they spray
important.
non-sprouting like hormone or something. So you have to get organic if you're going to go with that, and then just Google the variety.
Yeah. And also, there's a reason why they sell seed potatoes in particular too. You'll be a lot more successful with an actual seed potato that you buy, and you can get them basically, and you can trip over them at most hardware store at anywhere right now. And they're more disease resistant. You're going to be more successful with them. They don't have anything like sprayed on them, so I recommend getting them as
anybody in Wilmington, North Carolina. You go to the Farmer Supply and they just have them in like big bags, and you can just go in and like grab a bunch, and you're like $2. You're like done.
That's my favorite kind of place.
I ordered twice as many as I needed from Haas this year. So now I know how many I need for next year. And I want to try to do the tower. I think I need to build like the frame of it. I saw someone doing it to where like they add like a foot a week or like 6 inches a week. They just keep building it up. And it's really neat to do something like that. Someone was saying, explain nightshades. So the nightshade family, that's going to be your tomatoes, peppers, potatoes, tomatillos,
eggplant.
An eggplant, and then what is like the moonflower? Like not Datura. Well, Datura is toxic
Yeah,
too. But
Datura
like,
is also in the nightshade family.
yep.
Nicotiana is
Tobacco.
also, in the
Yep.
nightshade family. There are tons of plants in the nightshade family. Ground
Yeah.
cherries, I think, are. Yeah.
Oh yeah, ground
Yeah,
cherries, like Cape
Mhm.
Island gooseberries. It's like they're all
What'd
New
you call me?
World plants.
A gooseberry.
A silly gooseberry.
Yeah.
I love
we got some.
silly.
Let's see. A lot of potato talk. Let's talk about some fruit trees. Ron says, "Can I plant fruit trees Zone 7B Missouri in very big rain barrels that are cut in half, but I can't get holes in the bottom? Not sure of a size, but huge. I'm about 4 foot deep. Ooh,
I would
those
not.
are
You
you
need drainage.
you gotta have
Yeah.
drainage." And you can
Yeah.
do it in the side of them. You can do it in the bottom. I think if you're going to do a fruit tree in a container, I think it's best to do the side and the
Mhm.
bottom.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's what I got. Yes.
Yeah, wet
4
feet.
feet deep is a little tall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Someone
As
asked
long
me
as
how's my e-bike. I was just riding it before. I'm obsessed with riding that
Sick.
e-bike.
You look great on that thing, by the way.
So I hacked it. Today. When I got the bike right out of the box, it would go 22 miles an hour. That's the max I
Oh
can
my
get it to go.
gosh.
I hacked it, and now it goes 45 downhill.
Yeah.
Oh
Wait, how
my
did you-
gosh. You need
I
a
drove-
helmet.
I ordered a helmet.
Okay, thank you.
And I drove it to work. I worked a mile away. There's an overpass, like a really tall, and I drove it. And as I was coming down that overpass, it was going 45. I was like, "Oh my god,
Destin,
this is so
scaring
scary."
me. Please put a helmet
Oh my
on.
god.
I
That's
ordered
sick.
one. It's so
Okay,
freaking
good.
big.
Do you have
Wait,
this on your page? I need to check this out. I've never heard of an e-bike.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
electric
yeah, yeah.
bikes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The same
Yes.
one that
Like,
Tyler has.
I'm thinking of like some type of like Peloton type of bike or something.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah.
I should probably get one of those. I'm gonna get a ticket. I was speeding. Can you? I guess you can get a ticket like that. I guess.
Get a
I
ticket
don't
on your
know.
bike.
Yeah, but you feel like a kid again when you're riding something like that. I'm gonna go deliver some plants in the neighborhood in it. It's so much fun. But
Does
yeah,
it have
45
the
is
brakes up here, or is it
Mhm.
breaks down? Oh, I would
Uh,
go straight over the handlebars.
everything's up top.
I
Well,
literally would. I just
Yeah,
know
no.
myself. I'd be like squealing down the road, and then I would be like, and then it would be over. Yeah.
oh my god, I did get on the cover of the Haas monthly garden thing. That was awesome.
I was gonna bring that up.
Rebel.
Oh my
That
god.
was
No.
so cool. Do you have the
I can
it's
probably
so
pull-
it's such a great picture of you. Like the whole thing looks so nice. Like
Yeah, shout out
Destin
to
is having
Ashley
a
for
big
that.
season, guys.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got your
I've been
you've got
seeing all
your
the
succulent
clothes
bonsai
and the-
mix and Jimbo's
Jimbo's
like,
was fun.
big time right now.
It was fun.
It's
I
like-
have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun.
Good.
And Vanessa said no more riding until the helmet arrives. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
all right. I'm going to Corpus Christi. I'm going to Corpus Christi Friday morning. So like I've taken a break from the biking for a couple of days. So
Okay, fine.
and I ordered extra lights and everything. Let's
good.
see. Can all fruit trees, including citrus, be root pruned as hard as fig trees? I would say probably not. What do you think about
No.
that, Fig? How hard do you root prune figs?
I usually do about a third of
Yeah.
the root ball. Figs are much more resilient, and so you just got to be mindful of like, because you can propagate, like they're so attuned to growing their own roots, and like they may invest a lot of energy. If you prune really hard the root ball, it'll take a lot of time for them to recover. But I mean, just learning as I learn all these other fruit trees like persimmons and apples and peaches and pears and nectarines and stone fruits, and like you can't propagate them the same way. You have to do a lot more grafting onto rootstock. Rootstock involves like a lot more seed growth and like tap roots and deeper root systems, where figs just naturally creep on their own. Like you could almost just like, you don't even need roots. You just take a cutting of a fig, right? And you propagate it. So Only other plants that can do that. Now, figs are in the mulberry family, so you can prune a mulberry the same way too. And I propagated my first mulberry tree.
Oh, dude, I got
my mulberry trees are going nuts.
Every single one, every single cutting, every single cutting propagated. Every single cutting I did propagated. They ever bear.
That's great. Yeah, I thought that was almost like easier than some of my fig cuttings, which is crazy. Which one did I get? It was like a Shangri-La Pakistani mulberry. So they make them. They're like this long. It's crazy looking, but I'm excited.
Are you doing any new fruit trees this year, Sam? Are you doing any new trees?
I've been, 5 years ago, I wanted to plant fruit trees, and then we live on like septic, and so our septic system runs like where I would plant a lot of them, and then our leach field runs where I would plant the rest. And so it's been hard to like figure out where to plant stuff without trying to like, stay away from that. So I figured I would start with the figs, and then I might do some in pots, but I'm not sure yet. We might just wait until, we find our forever home. But I want peaches so bad. Like peaches in North Carolina are just so good.
Oh, so bad. Like I bought my first peach this year and I pulled the trigger. I ended up with a Red Haven peach, and I'm really excited because it's got that like classic yellow flesh with like that's like a little red towards the pit, and a nice red skin. And at my brother's wedding, he had these peaches that they just charred it, like just a quick char on the grill, put it on the salad, like warm peaches, and it was like phenomenal. And I was like, that's the peach I want. I want a peach like that. And so I got the Red Haven, and I put it 9 feet away, which is a little tight, but from a flame-kissed nectarine. And so I'm going to let them pollinate each other, even though they're supposed to be self-fertile, but let's make sure. Let's make sure we get some fruit, And but this year's the first year with the peach tree, so I topped it just to like get those scaffolding branches going lower up. And I pulled off all the fruit because I don't want it getting all stressed. But my nectarine tree is loaded, and it's awesome, and it's only like 5 feet tall, and I'm stoked for it. So
I love it.
I'm excited for you, Sam, to get yourself some fruit trees. Fig, I feel like fig is like the perfect fruit tree for how you described your situation, because even when I moved, you could just dig up the fig tree and just plant it wherever you go and just go from there. But like, keep it on your patio, everything. Like I have a fig tree in every kind of condition in my yard because it's adaptable like that.
Yeah, very versatile. Yeah, we had when I went to, because I preserve a lot of like fruit, so strawberry season just kicked off here. I'm really excited to go and load up on those. But at the farmer's market last year, I got Flame Prince peaches, and they were the best peaches I've ever had in my life. They were amazing. And I'm like, I'm going to get a Flame Prince peach tree. I'm going to.
You got it.
Determined.
I just looked it up. Looks awesome.
I'm not the biggest peach person.
I love peaches.
I like the peach flavor. I don't like the texture. I'm like a texture like with the hair, the fuzzy. I don't like the fuzzy makes my throat itch. Same thing like with the fig is kind of fuzzy. I'm not the biggest on that.
Peel that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the Flame Prince didn't have a lot of. It wasn't really, really fuzzy.
Okay.
I wonder if it's, but I have a flame-kissed nectarine. So was it a nectarine though? Maybe.
No, it was a peach, but I wonder if it's a hybrid. I wonder if it's been kind of crossed. It was wonderful, delightful.
That's awesome.
I don't have a peach tree, but I really
gotta watch out. You don't get like. I have a hard time with Red Delicious apples because I don't like that mushy, crumbly thing.
Apple, like a crisp apple.
Crisp apples, right? So like peaches, you can kind of get like a dry one, and it's no fun to eat. And so, but if you get like one that's like mango juicy wet, you know what I'm saying? And you're just like you have to like slurp it while you're eating it. Like that's the goal.
When you bite
that's some zesty stuff right there, Phil. What are we talking about?
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh.
I got a lot of zest in me, apparently.
It sounds like people need to be going to Sprouts and Whole Foods and probably like trying the peach or at least like find the organic version of like the peach that they want to grow and trying it and seeing, because you could grow like a peach and have it for 5 years and finally get one and like, I don't even like this peach. That would suck so bad.
Well, and I would say go to your local farmers market. Like we have Raleigh Farmers Market, which is probably like 30 minutes from me. But then you can talk to, that like that variety is going to grow well in your area, and you can try theirs to figure out, which variety you really like, and that way it's going to be like resistant to things in your area, and it's going to do well. And they usually have like more variety than what you're going to find in the grocery store.
That's true.
Well, Sam, do you like? We have nematodes we have to watch out for, and so like, if you're not careful, you can get it. Like my figs will be affected by nematodes unless you get a good established tree, and so you just gotta be mindful of that. And I know that like, I looked up both of my stone fruits have Lovell rootstock, which is a peach rootstock, and that is good in swampy, wet climates and good against nematodes. And then they have like a Nemagard or Nema something.
Nematicide.
No, well, it's not a nematicide, but it's just like a rootstock that was bred for protection against nematodes. That I've learned in this process of planting fruit trees all over my yard.
How many fruit trees do you have?
I planted,
I have if you count the bushes like the pineapple guava, and you count like
all the fruits.
Blueberries. So I'm probably like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Wow.
48.
48.
What?
If you count the figs, because I just added 20.
Well, okay, not counting the figs that are in the propagated figs in pots or whatever. You think like close to 20?
I got 2 American persimmons. I got 2 Asian persimmons. I have 2 pomegranates. I have 2 pineapple guava. I have a citramello, which is my grapefruit trifoliate hybrid. And then I have my brown select satsuma. And then I have an Awari satsuma, a Meyer lemon. And then I have my nectarine, my peach. And then I have an avocado that I put in the ground after 3 years. It's 9 feet tall. And it's hardy. I put it up against my house. I'm having so much faith in Millennial Gardener Anthony for showing me like, do it this way. I was like, great. I'll put it up against my house. So I get for 8B to 9A up against my house, And then I have, this isn't my figs, right? Because I have 7 blueberries. I have a blackberry, 2 blackberries and a raspberry. And did I say the American persimmons? And then I have a whole thick in my backyard.
Literally, I'm so envious of all your fruits.
But here's the strategy.
I need to step up my game.
I try to blend it. When you walk around my yard, I don't want it to be obvious like rows and stuff. I want it to be like an organic space. Like I can still go out there. I have a soccer goal. I can go kick the soccer ball with my kids. I can throw the baseball. But when you're walking, like I've bumped out where all my azaleas are, and that's where all my blueberries are, and my raspberries and blackberries. And you like go into my thicket where my fire pit is, and that's where my American persimmons are. And like up against my fence is where a lot of my fruit trees are. So did you say you took the azaleas out and put your blueberries in, or you said you put your blueberries with your azaleas? They're on like a stone island, right? Where my kids' tree house is. So my tree, it's 3 oak trees, and then they got azaleas around them. And I made a tree house between the triangulation of the 3 oak trees. And so I bumped out like the little stone isolation of the island there outwards, and I just lined them up against my azaleas.
Fun. That's amazing.
It's pH, fun with a pH, right?
Yeah.
Are y'all in the same zone, Sam? Sam and Phil, are y'all in the same zone? Raleigh?
I think we're all.
I'm 8B.
I'm 8A.
You're 8A.
Okay.
But we were 8A, and then when it got bumped up, we got up a letter. We went to the B. We still got.
I was like 7.
High teens this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you were having the same kind of temperature fluctuations in Raleigh too that we were having, like down again? It was 40 in one morning. It was like 45, and then it was 80 in the afternoon. Like it was getting crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all the same things happened up there?
Oh yeah.
It was a rough
like
winter.
2 weeks ago, it was like it was rough. Like 2 weeks ago, I want to say 2 weeks ago, it was like 30 degrees in the morning, and then during the day it was like 75.
So
And it
40
was like,
different.
what is
Yeah.
going on?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was insane. Like 30, 40 different.
Wow.
We missed out on that because it got down to 40
Yeah.
here when it was like freezing there. I talked to Phil Longo from Earth Nails and Tails, and he went down to like freezing in Virginia Beach. There's like a line, and here's how I track it. I follow you get the dips in the jet stream, and when you get those dips, that's when the Gulf or the cold air, Arctic air comes down in those dips.
Yeah.
And so we're just below it. That like we're far enough north that dip really will determine if we're getting a freeze or not, and it's pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is frustrating.
You just never
Did y'all
know. I mean,
Did y'all? Good.
sorry, go ahead.
No, you
I
don't.
always feel like an old lady because, you know, like I'm a gardener, so I'm constantly watching the weather. So every night I'm like checking what is our 10-day forecast look like. And in North Carolina, it could change like drastically. And then, you know, I'm like, oh, looks like we're getting another frost tonight. Like that's how I talk to people, and they're like, yeah, like sorry.
Yeah, I didn't
The
know
gardener
that.
Me too. I am also a weather nerd, so I feel that. You gotta know, you know?
Yeah. No, I finally started taking the plastic off my greenhouse last weekend, the weekend before last. I took my door off and everything. Once the door comes off, then it's just like take the rest of the plastic off. And I had some stuff just from going inside because the greenhouse was like getting down to like probably mid 40s, and then midday it was hitting like 120 in there. And so just the effect of me taking the plastic off my greenhouse, I lost at least one citrus. I lost 2 bougainvilleas. I lost a bunch of propagations because they were just drying out so quick. I'm gonna have to probably get another greenhouse. I'm probably gonna have to get another greenhouse because my plants are not getting watered evenly enough with them just piled in the greenhouse.
No.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm gonna cut back on some of the bigger stuff. I think I'm gonna have a plant sale. I think I'm gonna do a plant sale on some of my bigger stuff. Maybe even get with some master gardeners and donate some stuff because I'd rather have here lately. I go through phases. Like right now, I'm really into like cactuses and succulents, and so it's way easier to have like 100 little things than it is to like 100 giant pots with fruit trees in them. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And with all the meetups,
so bad. I plant sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do plant sales, like, so it's mostly like herbs, tomatoes, and peppers, but I'm doing it in my house. So I just take over my kitchen, and I'm like, I just need a greenhouse. Like I have hundreds of plants, and I even went, you know, I cut down this year. I was like, I'm not going to do as many. I just won't sell as many. That's okay. And it still takes up my whole kitchen. So I'm like, I need a greenhouse.
You can never go down. You just have to go up. You got to go up. Yeah. You don't go down. We don't go down as gardeners. We never get like
it's like chicken math. Plant math.
Yeah. Exactly.
Plant math.
Recently somebody told me I should get some quail to handle my roly-poly problem. I'm going back to the roly-polies. And I was like, listen, thank you so much for this suggestion, but I'm an expert in chicken math. And so what this means is that I'm going to get some quail, and then the quail are going to have more quail, but those quail won't technically exist because they aren't a part of the original ones that I bought. Therefore, I'm going to end up with 1,000 quail off of 10 quail, and it will be fine, but my husband will divorce me. And that's chicken.
I don't know about all that.
Jeremy was like, no more chickens, no more birds.
I ate a quail once.
I keep looking up because literally I'm watching a spider crawl across the ceiling in my direction, and I'm just like, what kind is it?
It's a brown
one. And I run away screaming, it was the bad kind.
It's to lay eggs in your ears.
Again.
Nightmare
spiders. Phil, do you get black widows?
Oh yeah.
In your garden?
On occasion, I saw one like you know those like circuit breaker boxes on like people's properties or whatever, and it was open, and I looked in. It was just like a beautiful web, and just like
Mhm.
the biggest, most fluorescently like hourglass
I love 'em.
Black Widow there, and I was like,
Mm.
oh boy, glad no one stepped in there because you'd be dunzos. It's the only
We
time
got
I've seen one.
kids, so that's crazy.
They,
I get them
they
all.
don't. They're not necessarily
Really?
deadly, but they're very extremely painful because they have they literally inject like a neurotoxin like that messes with your nerves.
Well,
But I
hard
mean,
pass.
yeah, they're definitely not something you want to get chewed on by. But I've seen people, they've got like pet Black Widow spiders. I'm like, what is your problem? Are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
I
that's
have
scary.
I have them all over my garden. I do feel like they're kind of
Really?
pets at this point because I'm like, you just stay there. I'll stay here. I respect
Yeah.
you. I respect your space. Like, we're cool, but like, don't bite me. But I have them all over. People are always like, knock on me for gardening with gloves, and I'm like, you don't understand. Like, it's like the Hunger Games in the garden. I have fire ants. I have black widows, wolf spiders. I'm always pulling stuff out of the ground. There's like huge wolf spiders. And
Yep.
then the one year I was stung by this saddleback caterpillar. Have you all ever heard of those?
Yeah,
Like,
I
they were
have.
on my tomatoes. I was like doing some prunings and stuff, and it stung me through the glove, and I couldn't use my hand for a week. So I'm like,
Yep.
you don't understand. Gardening in my garden is like the Hunger Games. Like, you have
I
to wear
use
gloves,
gloves.
or you're gonna
I
lose
use
your finger.
gloves.
I never wear gloves. I'm always reaching up in there
I never wear
and with the
gloves, I know.
critters. I'm crazy. I should wear.
I'm with you,
That's
Sam.
crazy.
I'm a glove person. Well, I used to wear contacts. And if I didn't wear gloves, every time I took my contacts out, I'd get a freaking eye infection or something like that. My eyes used to be like pink eye all the time. It was terrible.
Can't even
Because all the
remember.
compost and stuff, So like, but also
Yeah.
like gloves have saved me from getting, like cut and stabbed by like, things in the ground. Like, it's I'm
To
a
be
glove
fair, I
person.
have been cut. I've cut myself, and although tell you what, I got some great nail scrubbers that I'm just like, you get up in there
too.
with my Dr. Bronner's, and I'm good to go. But
Do you have the bamboo ones?
need
Are they the bamboo
no,
ones? The
I just
gardener's
had this
nail
one
brushes.
that I bogarted from
those.
my
I
wife.
love them.
Well,
I need to get one.
I have
garden without
vitality.
gloves. I try to wear gloves because I want to be able to use my hand the next day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's my thing too. Is like I'll get started. I do my peruse, and all of a sudden you're like, well, I'll just pull this weed out, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
here's this.
5 hours
and then
later.
20 minutes later, I'm like, oh.
In California too.
I can't do barefoot because I do barefoot from time to time, but like I use a lot of bonsai soil. It's a lot of rocks, and so it goes everywhere. So I step on a lot of like pea gravel and it's like that. So it hurts. It freaking hurts. So
I will go barefoot in my backyard. So my kids, with my little Mowgli.
And
I like to be barefoot as well, but
I got to where I wear my brunts all the time now because when I don't, that's when I stub my toe wearing flip flops or something, and then I've gotten bad ingrown toenails for it. Like, like if you get one, it's hard. It's easy to get it again. So
Yeah.
I just end up wearing them now. I just end up wearing my boots all the time, pretty much in the garden.
Well, it's a smart thing to do anyway. I'm not smart.
Yeah. Well, we have a backyard and everything. Like, we can go barefoot there. Well, maybe. I mean, still fire ants, but in the garden I have some rock, but it's just really, it's not worth it for me to go. I'm like, I'll go barefoot in the front yard because in the garden, you never know what's gonna happen.
Oh,
I mean, we have like, so where is it?
Oh, yeah.
M.I. Gardner, Luke from M.I. Gardner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what state he's in?
Michigan.
Is it Missouri?
Is it Michigan?
Michigan. Okay. He had a post one year that we were talking and he like posted his like bare feet in his garden or something. And he was like, we can do this here because apparently they don't have like all the fire ants and they don't have snakes and they don't have all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I can't even imagine.
So
Like,
growing up in Pennsylvania, we did not have fire ants. Like our winters are cold, so it just everything. it freezes, so everything
Get out of here with your
bye-bye.
privilege ass, Phil.
And
Come
so like
on.
people you're up there and you're like, this is great. Like I moved to North Carolina being like, everything is poisonous or bites you, you know.
It's
So
worse
like,
down here.
yeah, then
Hunger
Texas
Games.
it gets worse the further south you
Oh, I
go, and then you end up in Australia where it's like the peak of it all, right? But yeah, but like New
Found
England
scorpions in the
house.
and Pennsylvania and upstate New York, like everything's much safer, and then the grass is softer, and it just there's no all these types of grass. It's just grass, and it's soft and it's nice. And
You can go barefoot.
you hit about
nice.
Richmond,
Must
Virginia,
be
and
nice.
everything changes.
I can't really go barefoot around my garden just because the surface is so hot.
Yeah.
Even the flagstones are super hot
Oh.
at a certain point in the summer. So it's like difficult. And then the grass is not nice and lush and green anymore. It's like dry and crispy and terrible.
Yeah. It's like walking on. It's like walking
Yeah.
on like sandpaper sometimes. Like
Yeah, it's not the best.
Jeez.
I wish.
So there's
Think it's
that.
just mean
You're
every
really
once in a
selling me on
while.
Texas right now, guys.
Yeah.
no one
yeah.
invited. Hey, nobody invited you.
I know,
Phil,
right?
okay?
Well, actually,
Correct.
Destin's
Actually,
garden
guess what?
did many
is pretty
times.
We
nice.
don't want you. We don't want you. Okay.
Destin has like subtropical temperatures. It rains there. You can have grass that's green. He doesn't
Yeah.
like
Right.
he can put things in a pot and like it will be fine. Whereas like me, I gotta water that thing in the morning and in the evening after a certain point. And so it's really taught me what I am willing to babysit in my garden because I don't have the time to stand there and water that many
Yeah,
pots.
for sure.
Thomas.
Too many.
Yeah.
Too much.
My dog loves to steal my bamboo poles, and he likes to chew them. And
Oh, Duke.
I walked out one time with my flip flops on, and I kicked a bamboo stake, and it like stuck under my big toenail. It was
Oh
like
my
literally
gosh.
like the Vietnam War where they stick the finger like for torture. Like it was. That's what it was like. I was like,
Oh
ah.
my god.
Oh, painful.
Oh, no. Never again. I would never do flip flops again.
Shout out
My
to Brooke.
husband has
Shout out to
has been trying to, steel toe and everything. My husband for years has been trying to convince me to move to Florida, and I'm like, we deal with so
Yeah.
much poisonous stuff here. Like,
Mhm.
you want to move to Florida where everything gets bigger and more deadly?
Yeah,
Like,
it does.
Right.
what?
And it's all invasive. And they have snapping turtles,
Right?
huge
Everything.
snapping turtles everywhere. My
Yeah, in
alligators.
Pennsylvania, we did have
area.
the alligators in
Oh, those alligator snapping turtles too.
in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania, and they live forever. They uncovered one when I was a kid, and it had a Civil War bullet in its shell because they just
Yeah, they're like
And then they-
dinosaurs.
Cletus.
I'm shocked.
Cletus the snapping turtle. Well, so in Pennsylvania, you'll have the common snapping turtle. Y'all won't have the alligator snapping turtle.
in Pennsylvania.
Oh, we
you
have
had both
You got the
And then
alligator
we have-
snapping turtle too?
in Pennsylvania, yeah. And then
Oh, okay.
and then well, at least where I was in Lancaster, which is about an hour north of Baltimore, right? So we're in the southern part of the state, like southeast.
Is it Baltimore or Baltimore? Baltimore.
Baltimore? Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah.
Baltimore.
And then I'm like
Baltimore.
southeastern corner, so I was like outside Philly, outside Baltimore, that little corridor. And then North Carolina, we have a common one that's like in my drainage easement that pops out during a rainstorm. He's just yay big, but like I try to tell kids, don't just play over there
Yeah.
during a rainstorm.
Yeah. Leave him alone. He's grumpy.
Yes.
We actually have gators in my neighborhood at our like a water retention pond. So we have gators that like cross the road and stuff.
Yeah, we'll
There's
get
a
some
place,
big gators here in Wilmington, some big mud puppies.
but
I see them in
mostly
the ocean.
possums we deal with. Oh yeah,
Possums?
yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of
mostly
puppies.
mostly. Have y'all had any visitors yet this spring, Sam? Have you had any visitors in the garden yet?
No, but I always have rabbits in the garden. Like a lot of times they'll like nest. Every spring I have to go around and look at all my drip hoses because there's always like 2 or 3 that the rabbits have eaten through trying to make their little nest. But I had a groundhog in my garden because we live around, like we're surrounded by farmland. And so when they do controlled burns, you'll see everything come out. And so there was a groundhog the one day in my garden, and I had never seen one in there before, and it was eating all my stuff. It would like
They're
take
huge,
my
right?
corn that was almost ripe, and they would take a bite out of it and just leave it. And I was like, you could have at least eaten the whole thing. Come on. Oh,
That's so painful.
But yeah, I found one, and luckily it went away. It was just like passing through. But yeah, that's about it so far.
I've been having so many.
I imagine that like listening to that groundhog, and it's just like playing the Shire song from Lord of the Rings. It's a bite of the bear
munching
going.
corn
Oh
and
my gosh,
tomatoes.
I love it.
Do y'all follow Chunk? Do y'all follow Chunk the groundhog on Instagram?
No.
He's
No.
he's the
I've
guy,
never heard
the gardener who has the camera where the groundhog just comes in.
Oh, and it eats it in front of the camera.
Yes, I
Yes.
love that guy.
Yes, his
I
name's
have
Chunk.
seen that.
Chunk the groundhog. So now the gardener plants Chunk his own section of garden, and Chunk has got babies and stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh,
And
I
so,
have to
like,
tell it.
yes,
my
and it's so
gosh,
cute. It's
I
so
have to follow
freaking
him.
cute. Yes, follow
Oh, I
Chunk.
love this.
I love that.
I
We
love-
actually
That's awesome.
this is the second week in a row we've had groundhog or rock talk, and
That's true.
got, we got a picture of one a little closer up. A groundhog's pretty big. Our groundhog's pretty big.
Yeah, I think it's big.
Yeah.
They get like.
They're pretty big.
Wow.
Have you seen that one on the internet? Her name is Poppy, I think. And in the morning she goes, wahoo, or whatever.
That's a prairie dog. It's different. That's a prairie dog.
Oh yeah.
No, you gotta think like a Puxatawny Phil.
Yes, those are like
yeah.
like-
Never mind.
they're like beavers
Right.
without the tails almost.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm ridiculous. You're right.
Yeah. Poppy,
And they're loud.
the prairie dog.
They're
Yes.
very
Are they loud?
Yeah. Well,
I
the
never
one
heard
that
of
I
them. You
encountered,
had
my
a kid
dog,
growing up running around.
it was like screaming. I mean, we figured she might have babies around somewhere because she was like
Mhm.
screaming and making this crazy noise, and she was like coming at my dog. I'm like, girl,
What was the
you are
noise?
just fixing to get bit.
Can you give us a little bit of a
It was
the
like-
closest?
It was like
Don't
kind of like it was loud.
I love it. I love
like a
it.
little
That's my
like
best
a little
day.
horse.
You're welcome.
I
I
love
love
it.
that. I always like those. I mean, at my house growing up, we didn't have squirrels, but at my mom's house, they had a bunch of squirrels, and it was so wild the different noises they make because they almost like
Mhm.
they almost imitate like dogs and stuff. They bark and they like they make like little bark sounds. It's so wild.
Mine
have a
chirp.
new
Mine
one,
have a
I'm-
specific chirp.
I have a
ours
new
is her.
one, a baby, and it's a boy. He's cute.
I'm
Not
really
how-
having a hard
how
time
can you
with
tell it's a
squirrels.
boy?
Like, I'm ready for squirrels to go. Like, they're eating
I
my
wonder.
lettuce.
But he's young and he's really sweet. But yesterday he was up in the tree and he was just losing his mind. He was just, chattering and freaking out. And I walked over towards the greenhouse where he was, and I was like, what is the matter? And then I realized somebody's beautiful cat was in my backyard stalking him.
He's like,
I lose
save
my
me,
mind.
please.
Okay.
We have a lot of
I have a natural wildlife habitat, a certified wildlife habitat.
Me too.
And we do have a lot of nesting birds in my yard, and
Yeah.
I literally, and lizards and things like that, and I will capture that cat and see who it belongs to and let them know that they better keep it locked up because
I don't.
uncool.
I hate that so much. I have a relative that they have a cat that's indoors all day and they let it out all night long. They live in a subdivision
Yeah.
just like me. And they just let it
Yeah.
run around all night long. And I was like, that is not cool, man.
It's dangerous for the cat. Coyotes can get the cat. They can get in a tussle
Mhm.
with a raccoon. You never know. Not to mention that, but wildlife deserves a chance to thrive outside too. Like if you're living in the city, possums are already being pushed out of their habitat. I don't think that it's appropriate to let them run around. That's my opinion. If you really love and care for your cat, don't just let it out to be hit by a car in the middle of the night. And this is a beautiful cat. It had a bell on, and a collar, so looked young.
I live in the neighborhood, and I think so. Last year there was a cat that kept pooping in my garden, and I was like, I'm getting rid of this trash. But the 2 years before that, like I don't see him wandering around a lot. I don't know if like someone lets it out during the summer, but 2 years ago I had a rabbit nest in my sage. I have this like, huge sage bush, and I had a rabbit nest in there. And I went on vacation, and when I came out, I had dead rabbits all over my garden bed. And I was like, we have hawks too. So I was like, but hawks actually eat them. And so I was like, it just like they had a little bit of blood, like it grabbed them and then killed them and stopped. And I'm like, what got to this? And then there was a cat stalking all the birds and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But I came home from vacation and they were all over these poor things. I'm like, you gotta go.
I have not seen my mama squirrel in a while, guys. I have not seen her in a while, but I did find a squirrel missing its head actually under my live oak in the front yard last week.
That sounds like a fox. Fox is
and
I think
maybe, but it might have been her, to be honest. I haven't seen her, but like I said,
she's an old rat.
She is older. She's like 5, maybe.
That's old for squirrels.
That's old for a squirrel. Like that's why I don't name them really, you know. But
bullshit.
I don't actually. Like I don't. I call her Mama Squirrel, okay. But like Blue Sage named the one Nacho, right? So we call that one Nacho. But around our house, we literally don't actually name them because they are wild animals. I don't want to get too attached to them because literally anything can happen to them. And I've rescued so many squirrels over the years, and honestly, like. It's just, they're adorable. We love them.
And they bite.
They do.
Whenever I'd work on the rigs in West Texas, we'd come outside to like the excavators and stuff. And sometimes we'd find like half-eaten rabbits, like just like the back legs and the butts jammed in between like the wheels of like the excavators like that. Like they're gonna come out for later. So maybe it could have been an owl that like jammed that half dead squirrel into a spot and save it for later.
No, I didn't even think about owls.
Sometimes I do have hootie owls around. I know we have some really pretty, beautiful barn owls out here.
Well, y'all have to go out. They have to go outside with their little house chicken because when I was there, they let their little house Tweety B out and. She was sitting there, and they're like, "There's a hawk," and Des and Jeremy are like, "All right, come on, we gotta make ourselves like."
Well, also, she's pretty good about like. It's so funny. The chickens actually notice those hawks in the sky, but I always make people giggle because she'll be like out standing in the middle of the yard. I'm like, Tweety B, stop standing there looking like a snack. You look like somebody gonna carry you off or whatever. I mean, every time.
I don't think she has that much awareness. I've met her. I don't think she's that intelligent. I don't think she's that smart, Des.
You had a 1-second encounter with her. She's very
she like hey the chicken in Moana.
If you died tomorrow, she would eat you. She would eat you if you died tomorrow.
Yeah, no. Maybe. She couldn't fit me. She's got an ineffective mouth, you know. She would try.
She'd nub you to death.
She's
Phil,
so sweet.
Phil, what if we gotta talk about some gardening? Phil, what did you do in the garden this week? What did you plant in the garden this week, dude?
I complained about my squirrels this week in my garden. They ate all my lettuce, and I'm like, you guys, I thought it was a rabbit, and you guys are just out here messing with it. So now I have to pull it up because I have a problem growing things that cost $2 or less from the store sometimes. So I'm like, and
sometimes aren't worth
here's
it.
The thing. Here's what I'm really stoked on. I got all my San Marzano tomatoes in my raised beds, ready to go, and then I had all this kohlrabi that I planted that I had started this winter, and in between the kohlrabi. So when the kohlrabi's ready, this is great. I planted my my bush beans. I seeded them right away in between them. And so when the kohlrabi's done, it'll be too hot for anything any other brassicas. And there's kale down there too. And then all the bush beans will come up. And it'll just be like this nice transition. And I had the same thing with the mustard greens. And then when they're done, or I'm done with them, my eggplant will take over.
Yep.
And so that's my
Perfect.
plan with that one bed. The other side's got a bunch of tomatoes in it. I got some sun golds. I got the San Marzanos. I got some more eggplant because I had such a good time with my eggplants last year in this Asian dish. So I had like Thai basil, eggplant, and like a chili oil mix with some soy sauce, and that just stir fried so well. And
You need to start doing cooking videos, dude. You got to start doing some. I want to see it, dude. I want to see this.
I got you. And then the other thing I'm doing is
Garden
I have coming on my 3rd year of this bell pepper that I've overwintered twice now.
Yes.
And it's like getting bark
right.
when it's drunk. And
Ooh.
when they wake up, they're so cool because they immediately start flowering and putting out peppers. And
Mhm.
and so
It's
I'm
like a
putting that
peach tree when it first wakes up, puts out blooms before it puts out leaves. That's what peppers do almost.
And
Mhm.
so I'm ripping out the stubs of lettuce because whatever lettuce, and I had it throughout the winter, but it didn't do much because it was growing so slow. And I'm going to put the peppers right in that spot. Under my water oak, it gets shade in the morning, and in the late afternoon, it gets light right there. So it kind of diminishes the UV intensity, which I like that bed. So that's where I'm at. Like I'm putting those peppers in, and then all these cabbages and cauliflowers and other brassicas are coming to life. My potatoes are coming to life, and my I had really tough luck with my French breakfast radishes on the tape that I put in. I don't know why they didn't just take off. So
It
I'm
can
curious
be. Did you get a late frost?
why. It was a really cold winter, so that could have been one.
So radishes are going to be like an early spring, but the frost will knock them back. If you get a frost, it will.
I just never had good fruition with them. They just stayed small, and I only got a few of them that were marginal at best. I had ripped those up, and I put in zucchini.
Nice.
But I'm trying to establish not necessarily succession of the same crop, but I'm trying to the rotations where they grow in beyond each other as I harvest them with the summer.
I love that, dude. I want to see your eggplant recipes because I never grow eggplant, and I feel like maybe I should, just because but I'm not a big eggplant eater. So maybe I just need to see how it's done right.
If you cook them, sometimes you cook them too hard, they get soft and gooey and they fall apart, right?
Yep.
And I learned this cooking mushrooms. I listened to a podcast on mushrooms by cooking them dry first, and letting and in the wok just dry on not a super high heat so they don't stick, but it cooks them down with and gets rid of the excess moisture. So when you finally do add everything else, it doesn't like also rehydrate with whatever else you're adding. And I did that with the eggplant, and it was like perfect. And I used like an Asian eggplant, which has little thinner skin, and it was fantastic. Now my wife makes like eggplant sandwiches with pesto. She cuts the big eggplants like this, and like so they're like a portobello slice almost. And then we bake it on both sides, and then or fry it on both sides, but bake it's easier because you can do it all at once. And then she puts pesto on top, tomato, mozzarella in a sandwich. It's phenomenal, just like that.
That sounds so good.
And but the stir fry, and so the eggplant's been great. And then I can't wait for my summer trio. I always look forward to is like okra, tomatoes, peppers, and sometimes onions. And I just cook that up. And you can put that with eggs. You can put that on a side dish at dinner. Like it's just kind of ongoing there. So I'm really excited for that. But my springtime, like the eggplants, I'm really looking forward to this year.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. Sam, what have you planted already?
So I would have planted a lot more if I could get these metal beds together before summertime. But so far, I usually wait until my soil heats up to like at least 70 degrees. Right now it's at like 60. I wait till it heats up to like 70 degrees for my tomatoes and peppers. And then, but I've already planted out like all the flowers I've started, and like all of my medicinal flowers. I have a lot of medicinal things, and then my herbs, and then like my companions. So like the basil and the marigolds and things like that are already planted in the tomato beds. And so tomatoes will go in there. So yeah, a lot of herbs, a lot of, I already put the seeds in the ground for my winter squash, my melons, cucumbers, watermelons, all that stuff. And then like this way it gives me time. If nothing's popping up at a certain time, I'll just start them inside and then transplant them. But yeah, I need to get these beds put together so I can finish planting everything because I need beans to go out. I need all different kinds of things. But now is like the time to put all the seeds in the ground. And you can, you know, obviously stretch it.
What would you say like is your number one recommended like medicinal plant to plant? Like for anybody looking to get into like medicinal gardening?
I would say things that you like to cook with. So like if you were trying to go to like the herb side for cooking, anything you like to cook with. So like basils are so easy. Oregano, rosemary, and those overwinter, sage, those kinds of things you can just put in the garden and then harvest when you want and it'll overwinter. And they're so easy because you can use them for teas, you can use them for all different things. And like cooking, you can just go get fresh herbs or dry them. For medicinal flowers, I would probably say calendula is super easy and versatile. And then chamomile, you know, super easy, versatile. Then you can do things like lemon balm for like teas and all. But yeah, I would say like first take a look at the things that you either, if you're a tea drinker, what you drink the most of. And then if you cook, like what kind of herbs are you going to cook with the most? And that's what I would start with. Just a couple, start cooking with them, use them, figure out how they grow, and then expand from there.
Yeah,
that's probably something I do the least of is harvesting like herbs and stuff. From like I have like buffering. I have like rosemary, basil, oregano growing out in the garden, but I rarely ever harvest any and dry it and use it for stuff. I need to really focus on that. We actually, I got the Martha Stewart garden handbook, and I opened it just like to a page, and it was like teaching me stuff already. Like I watched the Martha Stewart document on Netflix, and I was like, I freaking love this chick. I love Martha Stewart now. So I got her book, and I will get her on the garden party one day. I'm working on Ryan, her head gardener, first, but I will get Martha Stewart on my podcast one day.
That would be so fun.
Well, so one of my favorite things to do with herbs, and like I know, like you know, you can cook with them, you can use them fresh. And this will step up your herb game. But if you like grow just some variety of herbs, I like to grow like sage, rosemary. You can have the basil, parsley, oregano, things like that. I'll go and I'll do a huge harvest, and then I'll wash all of those, kind of dry them off a little bit, and then you take a good quality salt. And you can do like some lemon zest and fresh garlic, put it in the food processor, take out like a baking sheet and just lay it on your baking sheet. And then you can put your oven, just the light on, don't turn the oven on, but just put the light on and stick it in your oven for like a day or two and kind of like crumble it up every now and then. And it makes the most amazing herb salt you've ever had. And you'll use it on everything, like steak, popcorn. I mean, it's so good. And then you'll be like, okay, I can't wait to go harvest my herbs because this is going to be incredible. But that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite.
I'm going to do that video this weekend. I'll do it. I'll do that this weekend. I wonder, could you do it in the dehydrator? If you have a dehydrator, could you do it like that? Or do you want it in the oven?
Oh, yeah. I just think yeah, no, you can do it in the dehydrator. I just think it's so much easier and you're not using electric. You can even just lay it out. I have cats and a dog. So like the fur just floats in the air.
Yep.
So I don't do it. But like if you can also just like put the baking sheet out on your counter and just let it air dry for a couple days and just kind of move it around, sift it around every now and then. But it's so easy and so incredible. Like it makes the best gifts. People are like, okay, I need more of that. And you can do all different combinations. So good. I did like a dill and garlic salt. So good.
I need to plant
Yum.
dill. I need to plant
Okay.
dill this week. I keep forgetting that I haven't planted dill yet because I planted fennel. This was
Yeah.
the first year I've grown fennel from seed.
Mhm.
And so I'm excited to try that. This is the year of first for me. Big time going into potatoes. First year I'm growing artichokes, and then fennel. I started fennel from seed, and it's doing really, really well. But I keep forgetting that I don't have dill because the fennel is sitting right there. It looks very much like dill.
It does look a lot like it.
And I think it attracts like the same caterpillar too, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I
what was
think
the
so. Yeah, it
category?
does actually. Parsley, dill, and fennel all support the swallowtail butterfly caterpillar.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I think
So-
rue.
I plant a lot of parsley in my garden because I give a lot of it to the swallowtail and the dill. If you just let
Yeah, me
dill
too.
like self-seed in
Seed
your garden,
itself.
you'll have it forever. I have dill
Yeah.
coming up everywhere every season. And so, the butterflies
good problem
take
to
a lot of
have.
it. Yes.
I just now
Yeah.
seeded a bunch inside because I planted like 3 or 4 plants out and they got eaten by something.
They
don't know
never
what.
transplant for they never transplant well for me.
It does for me.
I only ever have good success with dill direct seeding it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just planting. I bet in soil blocks it might work. Because even like when I do have it growing, the transplant, I might be after having 100% transplant success with my sweet corn soil blocks, I might be sold on soil blocks, like all in
I
on
love
them next year. It
Yeah.
is. I can't believe I had sweet corn growing in soil blocks and I transplanted like every single one of them made it. Every plant that I've
That's
done,
amazing.
everything that I planted and so I got transplanted in soil blocks has done so much better than stuff that I did in trays. Like it is
Because
and
it's like you're not disturbing anything if you don't have to.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're
And
not
it's
even
air
really
pruning itself.
yes.
It's great.
Mhm.
I love soil blocks. And I also noticed that when I plant things out, they grow so much quicker when they're in soil blocks because they don't have the transplant shock. My only thing is I get to be lazy and like, I'll be like, oh, I'll water tomorrow. And with soil blocks, you have to
Yeah.
maintain the moisture. But I'll be like,
Yeah.
I'll
Me
also
too. I've heard the
lazy.
same thing that Sam just brought up, that when you soil block, they take off so well that he was like 2 weeks ahead of schedule. Was that Joe Lample that was talking about that?
It was either
Oh.
Joe or it was Sean Pacera.
Yeah, they're like, it actually was so successful that I was 2 weeks ahead of schedule because of it. And I was like,
I thought it was
yeah.
Joe Lample that said
Dude.
that.
It might be
And you know what else
squash.
is Destin, you mentioned like I decided to do a whole tray of cucumber with my
Soil block.
soil blocker, and because cucumbers do not transfer well at all, and at least for me
Yeah,
they
they
don't.
don't.
And so like
Yep.
Not always.
if I could, I was like, well, in theory, if they air prune themselves and I'm not disturbing them as I plant them, it should work. And so hearing Destin you say that is really reaffirming that I can go for some stuff that I wouldn't normally start from seed in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, loofah does not like to be disturbed. It's such a baby. But like soil blocks, it's great. I think it's the air pruning is what really does it.
Okay.
It keeps them so much happier and prunes so they transplant much better. But I love soil blocking. I'm waiting for a company to come knocking on my door and be like, I would love to sponsor you.
I went all in on them. I bought the little ones first, the micros, and there's no point in those. That they're so small and they dry out so fast. Go straight to the 2x2x2. Get those.
Yeah, that's what I like.
And you can keep those for a long time in the 2x2x2s.
Yeah.
And if you plant it, like I had some squash that I planted the seeds upside down and it just came out the side. It was cool. Like it was. But Sean was even saying that he makes his trays out of recycled cedar pickets.
Oh.
And so he takes his cedar trays and like he rotates them through like a metal sheet pan with water in them, and the cedar soaks up the wood, and then the blocks soak the water from the cedar up into them.
Oh.
And so they're not sitting in water. Yeah, so they wick. I saw a video about this too. You can sit your plants on top of bricks. And if you set bricks in a sheet pan,
Ooh,
bricks
yeah.
are porous, just like a
yeah.
terracotta pot, and they
Yeah.
will and they'll wick water up to plants too. I thought that was
People
so
are
crazy
so
to think
smart,
about.
guys.
Guys,
Oh, that's so
It is.
smart.
It's
I saw
physics.
that.
I love it.
I love it.
I'm not a physician, but yes, it is. I guess it's physics. Oh my
Physicists,
God.
I believe it is.
Listen. If they can send Katy Perry to almost space, then we can do a lot of things in the garden. We can do a lot of things, guys.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna say that didn't happen.
Cool. No.
Conspiracy theorists over here. No, fake no.
Yeah.
It's
What
like,
is it?
yeah,
What is
listen-
it? Mark's safe from believing in this.
yes. No, I was laughing. I was like, oh yeah, cool. They sent Katy Perry to almost space.
Yeah.
Good for her. Good.
11 whole minutes.
Yeah. It's like, I wonder how much this costs, you know?
There's like
Too much.
millions of dollars.
How many episodes of The
Definitely
Rings of Power could he
millions.
made it for this trip? You know, like Jeff Bezos. Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
So
All right, real quick before we go, Des, let us know what you got going on in the garden. You've been doing so much work. I'm so happy with seeing you in the garden. You are happiest when you're in the garden working. I'm the same way, but like you are you're glowing from the garden. How is it going out there?
Oh, it's going great. I have like a lot of updates to give through videos this coming week because I haven't been filming the minutia of stuff, but I have been direct sowing a ton of things. I've probably got like 5 or 6 different kinds of basil out there. I've got a ton of zinnias popping up all over the place because I have literally been going out and sprinkling flower seeds like fairy dust. Literally every time I've got a big bag. I'm like, you get some and you get some. They're coming up everywhere. I've also been, I'm going to do a video on how to tie up your tomato plants because I do the Florida weave. And now that I've got some things actually coming in, we can start to prune them a little bit so I can show you that. And I'm going to be adding a lot more herbs, perennial herbs in the garden and talking about those as well. So stay tuned because I have a lot coming up. A lot. Some trash projects. I don't know if you saw my trash. What did Jeremy call it this week? It was really funny. Trash palapa. It was funny. I don't know.
Trash panda palapa.
Yeah, it was literally like I built it out of trash, but the fish now have shade and it's nice.
you need to show those more in your video. Dennis has a cool little koi pond with some big koi in them, like
huge fish,
like 5-pound catfish, like 10-pound catfish, like freaking.
They're actually
you can go noodle them out.
They're like I've got 2 koi fish that are almost 2 foot long, and then I've got a bunch of red comets in there. But Jeremy, we need to do some work on the pond, so that's why I'm not featuring it a ton because it's literally we actually need to do a rebuild, but we're not sure how we're going to proceed yet because like you said, Sam, like we know this is not our forever home. It's a small house. We want a bigger house because we actually do love to entertain and have people stay and have people over, but our house is like little. Our living space is like 1,200 square feet. So in any event, I've got tons of things that I've planted. I've got cucumbers coming up. I've been planting squash like crazy. I just seeded a whole bunch of new stuff. I've got zinnias and
I need to plant my zinnias. I haven't done zinnias in 2 years. I need to do zinnias, and I have some good ones. You saw the ones I have, Des.
Yeah, you do. I planted the ones you gave me as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I love zinnias. I freaking love
because I like
my favorite. They make a great companion plant for like pest control and stuff.
Yeah, flower people too. They're like, zinnias are so overrated, and I'm like,
there's so many varieties.
You need to get out of here because zinnias are awesome. They bring in butterflies, bees, hummingbirds, beneficial insects. They work as a trap crop for mealybugs.
They reseed themselves.
They reseed themselves vigorously. They are so. My favorite thing about a zinnia seed is that it's like it jumps to grow. It's like it's so excited to grow. You throw down seeds, and 2 days later, a plant is there. It's like
Yeah.
beginner friendly. I don't cover them at all. I literally sprinkle them everywhere.
I haven't planted them in 3 years, and I have them all over my garden every year because I just let them go to seed and just do their thing. And I haven't planted them. They just, they're happy to grow. They want to grow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're wonderful.
I love that.
Cosmos too. I mean, I've been like, I got a huge bag of Cosmos seeds. I've been throwing those suckers everywhere. We're supposed to get some rain this weekend. I'm hoping that it will water in my front beds more, because in the sun trap I have up there, I threw so many flower seeds. I want to have the most florific year I've had in a million years this year.
That's awesome.
And every year is so different. You're like, I know it can be amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've been blown away with the stuff I've been able to grow this year. Every year is different, but every year you also learn your garden a little different. Like you learn your area, your spacing. You're like, what can I grow here? Like I'm gonna try really hard to make that one bed that gets hardly any sun, a perennial strawberry bed. I planted so many strawberries in there, and they're doing amazing. I was eating. I had some frostberries. I had a frostberry that I harvested. I had 2 of them that I ate today. If I can beat I got blue jays now, and the blue jays go after my strawberries.
Those blue jays are tricks.
I thought I liked blue jays, but they're
tricks.
They're really loud and mean.
They're the punks of the bird world.
But I also found out that my dog eats strawberries when they're ripe. So that's...
So it could be him.
Yeah, it could also be him. But yeah, no, that's...
We need to do
exciting.
a chat on critter, like how to take care of critters in the garden. Because I have a lot of tried and true experimental ways that I found. So we should do an episode on.
I've got one that works real well, but we can't talk about it on YouTube.
I hear you.
I don't know. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Susie did also mention that nasturtiums like to go crazy as well, and I agree.
I never have luck with them. I've never had luck.
I do.
What?
Like, honestly, you got to plant them early enough, and then it's fine. They like the cooler temperatures. I'm trying to work with the shadier areas in my Texas garden to have nasturtiums, because they'll grow for a lot longer if you give them a little shade.
Yeah, they love the fall.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them in the fall.
They're a great companion plant, trap crop. They're also edible. They're wonderful.
Yeah, they're my faves. I love them. Peppery leaves.
I think Tyler's growing them with this squash.
Yeah.
Yeah, squash is good to grow them with.
I love to see whatever he's got going on. I need to come down to Houston so we can go over and you can take your e-bike, and then I can watch the 2 of you zoom through the pastures.
Hey, I got pegs. You can ride with me.
There you go.
Okay, if you give me a helmet, I'll go too.
Can we get video of that, please?
I'll put you on the front, and the handlebars like ET on the front.
I want to see it.
Put a basket. Do you think a basket would fit, and I could sit in the basket?
Oh, we can make it happen.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Special effects, we can make anything happen nowadays. Oh my goodness! Well, real quick, Des, let everybody know what you got coming up, what you got going on, what you got coming up.
What I have going on and coming up is that I am still working on my major, massive garden renovation. And then I just floated an idea today that will probably become a reality, where I'm making my pollinator garden much bigger over by the house. So that in addition, but I'm going to be, I have to get some mulch to lay down on the ground in the actual vegetable garden. I'm going to be going to the rock yard to get some flagstones. I've got to go get a ton more garden soil. All of that I'm going to be sharing. So stay tuned for that.
It'll be fun. To it. I have been enjoying your videos very much so. So keep it up.
Thank you. Sometimes I'm like, why? I'm so silly on the internet. Like I try to be seriously unserious, to be honest.
Silly is good. Don't stop being silly.
Keep doing you, Des.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Everybody's been so supportive. Like this week, I was like, Jeremy was like, please don't post this like trash palapa you're building on the internet. It's a little embarrassing. And I said, I am going to post this, Jeremy. If it feels spectacular, spectacularly, I'm gonna share it.
Yeah.
And then all the ladies have been the most supportive in my comment section about this. They were cracking me up yesterday. Thank you, Destin.
Oh, well, I was gonna say here lately, everybody like that I've been following and new people I follow or whatever have been super supportive. Like the cactus community, like a cactus and succulent community. Like I'll make friends with them and I'll send them a picture of like something I got. And like, oh, I'm gonna send you this. I'm gonna send you that. I'm like, hey man, that's kind of expensive. And they're like, no, it's okay. Just tag me in a picture, whatever, and like whatever. Like you don't even have to tag me. Just here you go. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like so, like I've had like 2 or 3 packages come in like from just really nice cactus people. They're like, thanks for spreading the word about Dorstenias or whatever. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And so like, but then you got the other where like what was it? Jeremy had his action figure. He got burned for that or whatever.
Yeah. It was a cool one too.
So I had so much fun with the action figure like AI thing. Like I had so much fun, and he was one of the first people that posted one. And he said in his comments, he said he was getting some negative comments. I looked down and it said, using AI to make an action figure of yourself is like the least punk rock thing you could do.
Yeah, it was like the top comment on there. They were literally like going hard at him about that.
I was like, you guys are jerks. Leave him alone.
Right. I love my action figure.
He's so nice.
I love it. He looks just like him too.
It does.
Well, and
mine came out. I look like Maya Angelou. It did not look like me. I tried. I was
green. I was green.
Oh yeah, you were green.
I you my prompt, Des, the one that I used. Did you also send it a picture of yourself?
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
So mine came out awesome, and then I made one for my husband, and it was kind of weird. But
yeah, mine was like really weird.
The more detailed picture you send, the better it looked. Like I tried to do Felicia, the Vital Root. I tried to do hers and like look nothing like her. Like but she has a very expressive face, and so like if you have like a very expressive face or distinct features, it's not like Phil's look nothing like him. Like the one I sent, like it looked like we're just generic white guys. I mean, it's just what it showed. Like,
I love it.
It's like insert generic white guy face with a beard. That's what it gave me.
Option A, option B. That's it.
Yeah. But like he is so anti like AI or anything. Like it's like the first time he's ever used AI for anything. Even when like I sent him like my t-shirt design, he goes, "Did you use Canva for this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I use Canva for everything." And he's like, No. I'm gonna create you a design by hand and all this stuff." And that's where he came up. He came up with a design of my shirt, like my gray shirt. He did that whole design himself. So like he was so bummed that people were giving him negative feedback. And I was like, dude, they hate us because they ain't us. Don't worry about it, dude. Don't worry about it, dude. Don't even think about stuff like that, dude.
Sometimes it's the Wild West out there.
It really is. But you know what?
It is.
All engagement is good engagement, whether it's negative.
Exactly.
Some of my best videos have done really well because of negative comments. So
I like him try. I'm getting better about being, letting him water off a duck's back. I am.
If people, I don't respond to comments anymore. Like really, I don't respond to comments. If they want to ask a question, they can come on the garden party and ask like this. But like, number one, I get like you, unless it's like you or Phil or like someone I know, I'll respond. But like, I can't respond to all the DMs and comments. And then like they take you out of context and all this stuff. It's like stay out of the comment section.
Yeah.
I have a video that
kind and supportive. I try to.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. Yes.
But I have a video that was like it was around Christmas time, and it was about like ingredients in food, because I talk about that a lot. And I was like, there's obviously bioengineered food ingredients in this. Like they switched up the recipe. I got 4 million views on this, and so many people were talking trash. And I'm like, hey, the haters are going to hate, and you are just like driving that algorithm up. 4 million views on this video. Like there's nothing fancy on it. It's like me going like, what is going on with this? And it's just so funny. Like the things that people will argue about on there that like totally off base. And I'm like, how did you get that from my Hershey Kiss video? I don't understand. Okay, though. That's fine.
Yeah.
I reposted this video from like last year, and I was a little heavier, and the top comment was like, "What is this guy growing cake?" And I was like, I was like,
No,
I was just like, dude, that's so funny though.
Sometimes
that
if
is
it's big
so
enough, people you provide a canvas for people
not
to like let their
funny.
emotions out. Like, you know that commercial I did
I
for
think
the
it's
water system, water
yes.
filtration. Oh man, like that company is like they want me to do more commercials and stuff, and it's going really well. But the comments are like when I started seeing things like "nice try, Diddy," like it was getting rough.
What?
What? Like I don't understand the
People are
reason. You're
so
that pops
rude.
up on my Instagram all the time. Your commercial. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
it
look
does
at that.
I love it.
but people are like, oh man, just because my hat was on backwards, they saw my receipt, the hairline, they were like, oh buddy, they leaned in hard, but you just gotta let it.
I
It's
love
like
it.
water off
warrior.
the duck's
You gotta
back for sure.
love
I try
yourself
to, I
past
do
it.
try to support the positive engagement, like because
Yeah.
there are things that I learn from others a lot, and I think part of my thing is there's so many brilliant people out there about gardening.
Yes.
We're gonna about gardening and things using research and feedback that's constructive and can educate others to empower them and be better people. But I think I have this ability, and you guys do too, to be able to eloquate that to technology to show everybody things, which is really cool. And I feel like having the powering the positivity, fueling the energy towards those good comments to help build others and the
Yeah.
people there around it has better gravitas, obviously too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just try to
agree.
treat kind people with kindness.
Yeah.
I'm matching it. I match energy. I match energy. Like you come at me one way, I'm coming at you. You come at me 100, I'm coming at you 150 miles an hour. Like, you know, like you gotta match. It's like when a kid starts screaming, you're like, hey, it's okay. Like, you know, it's like when they
I don't
you gotta match that energy.
I just
Sometimes
don't like
you gotta put in Mr. Miyagi.
confrontation
You gotta
because I
Mr.
just don't want
Miyagi.
to keep it going. I don't like to keep it going. I don't like to perpetuate it. I don't want to be a part of a conversation that's ugly, hateful, mean, or tears someone down. I want people to be uplifted by gardening content. I want them to not feel alienated or afraid to post something just because they're afraid of what someone else might say. I want people to feel like it's an open conversation where they can come and be themselves and ask a real live question and get a real answer. So I try not to engage with the haters.
Journey. It's dangerous. What you're describing is two-way engagement, and that is a dangerous path to go on because no matter because at the same time you want to engage with people and interact, but they can see your face and you can't see theirs, and so they will say the nastiest, dirty things in response because they're not the ones whose face is there. So you really have to. I understand what you're saying. I don't think it's you can keep it up like that because
I've been very lucky, actually. I really don't get a lot of hate. I don't
either. I've been very lucky too. Maybe because we're women. Maybe that has something to do with it. I feel like keyboard warriors come after men a lot more. But
it's not necessarily it.
I will bless your heart to so many people. Like so many hating comments. I either ignore them or I just bless your heart.
Yeah.
And you know.
Sometimes I'd be like, are you okay?
I like it. I like it. Sometimes I'll say, hey, thanks for the feedback. That's what I'll say. Like
I will too. I will do that too.
Well,
somebody said on my San Antonio Botanical Garden video this week, it doesn't look very nice. And I said, wow, thank you so much for your feedback, LOL. They were also a content creator making like food videos and things like the beautiful pastries. And I was just thinking to myself, like, I can't imagine being a content creator and going to somebody else's video and saying something ugly like that. Like, let's support each other.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
You know what?
I mean, if you're talking about whatever you say to me, I mean,
some burner accounts, you know, just go talk crap.
Bill, what's up with all the figs, man? Try another fruit.
Have you heard of an apple? Like, you know, what?
Feels like actually I have like 20 different kinds of fruits I'm growing.
Yeah, I'm a sleeper on other fruit. People just don't
actually
know.
that's
Cross-training
that's an
the day.
indeterminate variety. Actually,
Yeah.
my goodness.
I do get those people. You know, my most controversial posts are like the tomato videos. Like
Yeah.
people get heated when I say that, like, in our humid climate, I prune off the suckers. People get angry, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
hey, like, you do you. It's okay. Like, there's no
You
right
need
way
that
to garden.
airflow in your
There's
plant.
no right
It's
way to garden.
important.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I live in the humid climate, like, but that's the way I like to do it. I've had success, but you do you, man. And they're like,
Yeah.
how dare you tell people to prune off the suckers? You're cutting off half the plant. I'm like, bless your heart.
Mike was saying, is it wrong to turn your comments off? I don't turn my comments off. I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't turn
Don't
them
hear
off.
the like comments.
Yeah, no, I want comments. Phil,
I think that it looks bad to. I think it looks a little bad also to turn the comments off because it indicates that you think that your opinion is the only one that matters. You're unwilling to hear somebody else's. You're closing that door, and people don't like that.
Or going into it, you know you're going to get negativity.
Yeah, the comment section is for them. You know, it's not necessarily for you.
And there's so many positive things like people can say, and like people can leave good feedback. It's like shutting that down too. Or ask questions. It shuts down those people that want to ask questions. So,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
we gotta get back on track because I gotta roll here soon. Phil, what do you got coming on? What you got going on? What you got coming up, dude?
I will hopefully have fig trees for sale by May. I didn't think I was gonna get there. Winter was so rough. I was like, how are we gonna do this? And now I'm like, wait, I got fig trees. So I'm really stoked. It's getting a little hot in my greenhouse, so I have to assemble this grow light that someone sent me. I'm gonna put it like right here because I have a great spot. Or my wife wants me to put it in the closet so my kids don't rummage through it because they will. And and so I think I'm gonna do that and get some temperature consistency. But I just love my greenhouse so much. I love just puttering out there with my anoles and plants, and I got some great fig varieties coming through, and my success rate's going up because I'm using good cuttings, not the reject cuttings anymore. And I think I'm just about done with I'm done selling cuttings, but I'm doing my own last bit of fig cutting propagation here. So I'm pretty excited for that. I'm speaking to the Brunswick County Garden Club in May at Brunswick County Community College about figs, and I will be here next Wednesday to do some more talking about plants because it's my favorite thing.
I love it, dude. I love it. Thanks so much every week, dude. I appreciate it, man.
Of course.
Hopefully see you soon. Miss Sam, Grow in Grace Garden. What do you got going on? What you got coming up? Let everybody know where they can find you, all that good stuff.
So this spring, I'm also doing garden renovations. So I'm really focused on that and hoping to catch up to that soon. I deliberately scheduled this spring to be very light because I had major burnout last year. So no big things. I have my plant sale coming up, which is for local people. But I might do some garden classes in my garden this year. Last year, I did it in my local community. I've been a garden teacher for a couple years now, but I've also done it in my local community at different places. So I might open my garden to it this year, depending on what our schedule looks like. But yeah, mostly just focusing on the garden renovation and getting caught up enough to be like, okay, thank you. To be like, okay, I'm good. Now I can focus on what's next. But you can find me on Instagram mostly at Grow in Grace Garden. I'm also on Facebook a little bit. Other platforms just a little bit, but mostly just Instagram. And I actually wrote a book. And so right now it's just the digital copy is available. And that's for mostly because it's kind of it's called Growing Gardens of Grace. And it can be used as a homeschool course for the whole family so that you can learn gardening together. It also dives really big into the sciencey part of it and explains like soil health, and I like really nerd out in it. And so it can also be used as like a manual, like that you can reference. It has a lot of charts and troubleshooting and different things like that. So it can be used as a manual. But yeah, so I have my book I wrote last year, and you can find that in my bio on Instagram. So yeah,
Yay.
exciting.
That's
I love that.
amazing.
Hey, that's awesome.
I'm gonna share the link for that right here in the comment section, so you can go follow her, find the book and everything. That is awesome. No, Sam. Last time we had you, I forget who you were on with last time, but like I felt like we didn't get to hardly talk to her at all last time, so we got to have her back on. So I really appreciate you coming on. We'd love to have you back on again.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's fun. I love it.
It's fun.
It's always so much fun getting the garden people together, and time flies. You know, it just we're already hour and 40 minutes.
So, oh my gosh. Yeah. What are we doing?
I'll be in Corpus Christi this weekend. Well, sorry. I'll be in Corpus Christi Friday. I'm going to go check out Gil's. I'm going to go see Little Jade Bonsai, go do a tour of his place. We're going to go to Gil's. We're going to go to Plain in Corpus Christi. And then I'll be at the grand opening of Marvelous Gardens, Port Lavaca, Texas, which is Port of the Cow. I'll be there.
Yeah, that is true.
I'll be there on this Saturday at 10 with the grand opening. So it's going to be fun. We're going to talk spring gardening, and gonna be an awesome time. So I can't wait to see everybody out there. And then we're gonna be in Wichita Falls at the end of May, ain't we?
Yes, we are. I'm gonna be there.
The weekend after Memorial Day, it'll be me, you, the plant professor, Michael Smith's Garden Town, not Phil. There may have been even some talk about Tanner the planner might even be there. So I don't know about that yet. It's not confirmed, but Tanner the planner might also be there. So it's gonna be a fun time. We're calling it Plant-A-Palooza. So that is gonna be so much fun. The last time I was in Wichita Falls, I was still in the Air Force.
I'm going to be there the 17th for something unrelated, and then I'm going to be there the 31st. So May is a big month for me being at home.
Yeah, that's your hometown.
It's my hometown.
I can't believe anybody would claim that, but it's awesome.
We have a really beautiful red waterfall that we occasionally turn off.
I was there for tech school in the Air Force. That's what was my interaction, but guys, thank y'all so much for being here this weekend or this week. Can't wait to have y'all back on. Sam, Phil, Des, have a great one, and we will see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.